The town of Shawneetown welcomes you to this vlog. And Shawneetown is the home of the Gallatin County Hawks high school basketball team who participated in the Sweet 16 in 2013. And this sign is in memory of Danny and Herman Waters, and it was erected in 1989. Danny, the son of David Herman and Mary Patton Waters, was born in 1962, and he graduated from Shawneetown High School with the class of 1980. And Danny was a hairstylist, and unfortunately he was killed in an automobile accident in 1989 while returning home from work. And at the time he resided in Carbondale, Illinois. So RIP to Danny Waters. Let's get it. What's going on, good people? This is P9 and I am here with another video, and I am on location in Shawneetown, Illinois, which is a city in Gallatin County, and it is the county seat of Gallatin County. And Shawneetown is located southeast of the center of Gallatin County on the far southeastern reaches of Illinois, not far from the Kentucky border. And Gallatin, the present town where I'm at right now, was established in 1937 after the Ohio River flood of 1937 inundated what is now Old Shawneetown, Illinois. So Old Shawneetown, Illinois, which we will get to later, is a village which is close to the Kentucky state line and the Ohio River as well. So we're going to start this video right here at this marker. It's a marker of General Michael K. Lawler, who was born in Ireland in 1814 but moved to Gallatin County in 1819 and served as a captain in the Mexican War, and he lived on his farm near here until the outbreak of the Civil War. And he was recruited by the 18th Illinois Volunteer Infantry Regiment to serve in the Civil War back in 1861. So General Michael K. Lawler partook in the Civil War, but was born in Ireland. And there's another marker down here as well, and we're going to proceed into downtown Shawneetown, which is really small. And this is just another marker. This is of James Harrison Wilson. And he was an American Army officer, engineer, and author, and was born in 1837 on his family's farm about a mile south of here. And he also attended Shawneetown schools, McKendree College, and the U.S. Military Academy. And in the spring of 1864, during the Civil War, he commanded Sheridan's 3rd Cavalry Division. And in the spring of 1865, as Brevet Major General, Chief of Cavalry, Military Division of the Mississippi, Wilson led a month-long mounted campaign through Alabama, capping his exploits by surmounting the fortifications at Selma. So he also made his way down to Selma, Alabama during the course of the Civil War. So yeah, a lot of history associated with the Civil War, and Shawneetown, Illinois is no exception. As we make our way to the town area. So Shawneetown was established, the old Shawneetown anyway, was established in 1810. But again, it was moved further inland to where it, to this particular part where I'm at right now, back in 1937. And again, it's due in large part to the flood of the Ohio River. So the original inhabitants of the land where we're at right now here in Shawneetown, as well as the old Shawneetown area, are the Shawnee Native American tribe. So they had a large presence in what is now modern day Shawneetown, hence the name Shawneetown. And I wanted to come over here to this mural. It's a really nice mural right here. Shawneetown, established 1810, moved here 1938. And it's just an illustration of the town right here. They have the firefighter, the police hat, and the firefighter mask right over here. And it basically says, we support first responders. And of course, I got to give a shout out to the artists of these murals. We have Christy Motzinger, Becca Mueller-Williams, Janet and Bixler, Kielman, 24, and Haley Volkert. So these are all the artists of this mural. So shout out to each and every one of them. This is a really nice mural, nicely designed. And it celebrates the sesquicentennial. And this is also, it looks like the high school, Shawneetown Indians. I presume that's what that is. So a lot of history associated with this town. And there goes the logo for the Indian logo for Shawneetown. I'm gonna walk down this street right here. So you have the local hardware store right here. It's always good to have a local hardware store. Shawnee Hometown Hardware. Being that Shawneetown is pretty much off the beaten path, if you look at it on the map, it's not really that close to any major population areas. You know, it needs to be serviced by a local hardware store. You know, it's no Home Depots or Lowe's probably within 100 to 200 miles away from here. But check out these abandoned locations right here. These abandoned buildings right here. They do have it looks like a flower shop right here. It's another abandoned building that's for sale. Well, not the whole building, but you know, this particular portion of the building. So it's a few abandoned retail spots right over here. Look how old this building is. They even have a few vending machines outside. Interesting. Now, if you go down this street right here, it's a residential area. So conveniently located to the city hall of Shawneetown and also the bank right here. Let me cross over here. Those birds chirping this early in the morning really sounds good. Nothing like the early morning hearing those birds chirping. And they have a little gazebo over there, little probably pretty big grassy area. And check this out. You have the Shawneetown Public Library, City Hall. American Legion building right here, post 585. Even has that tank in front of it. Check this out. You are not forgotten. Since World War I, more than 82,000 American soldiers are unaccounted for. This unoccupied seat is dedicated to the memory of those brave men and women and the sacrifices each made to serve in this country. Courtesy of the Rolling Thunder, Chapter 3, Illinois. And there goes the seat right there. And it also has this Shawneetown Veterans Memorial with all the SEALs from all the different branches, the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Navy, and the Marine Corps. So yeah, so the American Legion is basically just a organization of military vets. So right now, I'm walking down Lincoln Boulevard at the corner of East McClernand and Lincoln Boulevard. And you know I gotta get the county courthouse. There it is right there, the Gallatin County Courthouse. So it has you get a nice view from the courthouse of the town and the water tower in the distance. And right in front of this courthouse is this bell right here. And it just has some information about the Illinois Territory. The Illinois Territory was formed in 1809. Its governor, Ninian Edwards, laid out a district on September 14th, 1812, and called it the County of Gallatin, after Albert Gallatin, Secretary of the U.S. Treasury. The county changed size and shape often before its present boundaries were established on February 25th, 1847. Shawneetown received the honor of appointment as the seat of justice. The county seat was moved to Equality in 1827 and returned to Shawneetown in 1852. So in 1857, a courthouse was built with this bell, later becoming its distinctive crown piece. The bell's peal was familiar part of daily life, celebrating triumphs, toll tidings, announcing meetings, warning of fire and floods. The building was raised in 1813 when the town was moved and the bell was placed atop the new courthouse. There it sat unnoticed until removed August 1989 and placed here as a memorial. And this was erected by the Gallatin County Historical Society. So shout out to them for maintaining this important piece of history right here. I don't see how this big bell right here went unnoticed. But I guess if it sits at a certain location on top of the building, I guess it's possible. But there you have it. This is the county seat of Gallatin County, Shawneetown. And we're going to make our way to Old Shawneetown. So stay tuned. Before I head out to Old Shawneetown, I wanted to come check out this train that was sitting here. And it showcases a lot of artwork. This one being a painting of illustrating the moving from Old Shawneetown on the left to the present day Shawneetown on the right. And these are both by Janet Bixler. These are really nice pieces right here. And also this is a painting of Rudy's Barbecue. This is nice. And I would assume this is a local barbecue establishment. It says serving you since 1932. Ramblin' Rudy's Barbecue, king of hobos. Interesting. And check this out. This is from the past. Okay. Peabody Coal Company. And Eagle Mine number 2. This is a nice illustration of the train tracks right over here. And it sits on the side of the road right here in Shawneetown. Nice piece of art. Now this here, good people, is Old Shawneetown. And Old Shawneetown is a village in Gallatin County. And the village had a population of 113, which was down from 193 at the 2010 census. Now this is located along the Ohio River. And as you're going to see, as I mentioned earlier in the video, Old Shawneetown was ravaged by a flood in 1937. And you're going to see the effects of it because it's essentially like an abandoned ghost town. But right here, this is a marker for Lewis and Clark. We went over Lewis and Clark's expedition in a previous video. I think it was in my Clarksville, Indiana vlog, where Lewis and Clark made their expedition through numerous parts of the Midwest all the way out to the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest. But Lewis and Clark in Illinois, in the fall of 1803, Captain Meriwether Lewis and William Clark passed this place with about 20 men on their way westward. At the confluence of the Wabash and Ohio rivers, they reached territory that is now the state of Illinois. They then turned their boats south on the Ohio towards Fort Massac. So as you can see right here, the Kaskaskia and Shawneetown Goshen trains in 1816, Congress appropriated $8,000 to survey and construct a road from Kaskaskia on the Mississippi to Shawneetown on the Ohio. It became an important east-west thoroughfare for settlers entering the Illinois territory. At this point, the Goshen Trail, which ran from the Goshen settlement near Edwardsville to the Salines near Equality, joined the Kaskaskia Shawneetown Trail. And this was erected by the Illinois State Historical Society, 1957. And here's Lewis and Clark right here. It's a cutout of them. And this is just a marker with their expedition into the Illinois country. And the primary purpose for the stop was to procure a supply of salt for their journey. And this was in 1803. And here they would have encountered the squatters, which represented future builders of the society. This area would shortly become gateway for the settlement in the state of Ohio, or excuse me, Illinois. So yes, this was a major stop for Lewis and Clark on their expedition. And we're gonna go ahead and make our way into Old Shawneetown. Check it out. And I had no idea that Shawneetown is actually the oldest town in Illinois. So Old Shawneetown was established in 1810. And it's just a marker right here. Here we honor the spirit of the place called Shawneetown. This proud spirit was born in the heart of the first stalwart Shawnee brave, who saw in this beautiful river site a homing place. It ignited the first white settler 17 years before the city was surveyed and platted by the U.S. government in 1810. So it burned higher and higher through the years until the tiny settlement grew into the most important city in Illinois. The historic visit of General Lafayette in 1825 signified the position of the city. The town still boasts of the application of a loan received from the then small city of Chicago. Due to a severe succession of floods, many of the proud people merely moved with their city to higher ground a few miles away, ensuring the safety of its citizens while still maintaining the roots deep in the historic oldest town in Illinois. So yes, it had to make its way further inland because that area, like we saw earlier, the new Shawneetown is less susceptible to floods, unlike this part where we are now, which was highly susceptible to floods because of its location along the river. Now this right here, this is a state historical site called the Shawneetown Bank. Now the Shawneetown Bank in its heyday was a very important landmark because obviously it was the only bank in the town. So as you can see right here, it's a shell of its former self, but I'm glad that they preserved this part of history because you still see the remnants of what used to be a thriving town along the Ohio River. And yes, it was the Shawneetown Bank Historic Site divisions of the Illinois Historic Preservation Agency. So there you see it right here. Let me make my way across the street. Had to make that leap on that stone. Had to make a little leap. This sidewalk is elevated, but yeah, what you see right here is what used to be, was it Hoggadaddy Saloon? What a name, Hoggadaddy Saloon. But yeah, this was a saloon back in the day. It was in this building. As you can see, it's boarded up. But it will be interesting to see a town like this make somewhat of a comeback, you know? Like they developed this area and turn it into like a hangout spot, like something similar to what they do to a lot of old historical sites. They make it like a entertainment district or something. That would be interesting to see if they will actually do that. But I doubt it because they probably just want to keep it where it is, just to retain the historical value of it. So I could definitely understand that if they wouldn't, develop this area into one of those type of districts, those like entertainment districts or whatnot. But across the street also was a bank. So there was two banks. There was the Shawneetown Bank over there. And then there's this building right here. It was called the City National Bank. So they had two banks on the same street. And by the way, this part of Shawneetown is on a part of what's called the Lincoln Heritage Trail, the southern branch of the Lincoln Heritage Trail. So a lot of historical landmarks are on in this area. Huh. This is interesting. I think this place might be open. This might be the only establishment that's operating over here. Anyone who's familiar with this area, who's watching, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can chime in the comment section, but is this like the only establishment? It's like a bar and grill. It's called Layton's Old Town Bar and Grill. Obviously they're closed now because it's early in the morning, but they have like some slot machines and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. But let me make my way over here. Now this right here is called the Rawlings Hotel. See, back in the heyday of Old Shawneetown, this was a fully functional hotel, and it's called the Rawlings Hotel, one of Shawneetown's earliest brick buildings. Rawlings Hotel stood on this lot. It was built in 1821 to 1822 for Moses Rawlings, who owned it until 1841. On May 7th, 1825, it was the site of a reception held for the Marquis de Lafayette during his visit to America in 1824 to 1825. It was also accompanied by Illinois Governor Edward Coles and other dignitaries. Lafayette walked between two long lines of people from the river's edge to the hotel. The building was one of the 11 destroyed by fire June 23rd, 1904. So this marker was erected by Gallatin County Historical Society and the Illinois State Historical Society in 1968. So as you can see right here, this is the hotel. And you're probably thinking this was very small for a hotel, but that's how it was back then, you know, I guess. It was probably bigger than it looks too, you know. I don't know. Yes, this looks, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this was doable for a hotel back then. It just looks like a regular three-story house to me, but I don't know. I'm here still in Old Shawneetown at the John Marshall Home Bank Museum. I'm in front of the Marshall House. And already you can see the chimney. It looks like it's detached from the home, but it has these sticks where you can, you know, make a fire. So it's the fireplace. I don't know if it's yeah, it's definitely interesting to see this chimney detached from the house. But this is a Marshall House right here. And this is the original site of the home of John Marshall, one of the founders and president of the Bank of Illinois, the first bank chartered by the Illinois Territorial Legislature. The charter was issued in 1816. The bank opened at Shawneetown in 1817, suspended operation in the mid-1820s, and reopened from 1834 to 1842. Marshall was active in business and politics. In 1818, he was elected a legislator from Gallatin County to the first Illinois General Assembly. He died in 1858, and this was erected by the Gallatin County Historical Society and the Illinois State Historical Society, 1976. So that was a dope marker right there. And this is the house right over here. It sits right alongside the Ohio River. So as you can see, it's a two-story home, two-story brick building. And this is the John Marshall's residence, but it also housed the first bank in the Illinois Territory, chartered in 1816. So the Illinois Society, the NSDAR, had placed this tablet right on the side of this building, March of 1941. So yes, as you can see right here, this is the John Marshall home / bank. So it functions, I guess it was his residence and his bank. And you have the little shed right here as well. So that's pretty cool. Really nice historical building right here in Old Shawneetown. This is way back in the 1800s. So times have changed. And let me go over here and see if I could get a little glimpse of the Ohio River. See if I can get a view from over here. And there we go. It's a nice view of the river right here. And I'm looking at it from what looks like a flood wall. But yeah, that's the Ohio River. And that bridge right there is the Shawneetown Bridge, which connects Illinois to Kentucky. So if you go this way, it continues into Kentucky. But coming this way, it obviously comes into Illinois. So, yep, that's pretty dope, isn't it? The Ohio River right here in old historical Shawneetown. And with that in mind, good people, this concludes the Shawneetown vlog. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. If you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button. And also, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. Also with the notification bell, that way you get notified each and every time I drop a new vlog. And with that in mind, good people, thanks for watching again, and see you on the next one. Peace.